So the following vlog is very random. I started it on a whim. I didn't really have a theme. I was just like, I'm in the mood to do something vlogish. So there weren't any specific lists of books or anything. There wasn't a theme. So, yeah.
What?
Enjoy the vlog. Blech. Enjoy the vlog. Hello. So, I just got out of the shower and I am about to start reading Rules for Being Dead by Kim Powers. I haven't been doing much physical reading, like reading paper books. I don't think I've read a paper book since March, maybe. I've been mostly doing audiobooks because they're easier for me and I'm able to do other things, but I am struggling with anxiety right now. I'll go into that in a minute, but I'm going to try to focus my brain on reading a paper book. I've talked about my anxiety and my mental illness that I deal with in other videos, but basically right now, sometimes my anxiety, it just kind of spikes for no apparent reason. Sometimes there's a trigger and sometimes there isn't. I think the trigger might have been me struggling to fall asleep last night. But, and then just sometimes for around a week, sometimes a little over, sometimes a little under, I'm just generally feeling tense and anxious for no apparent reason. It's not fun, but I have learned what helps. Reading is one of the things that helps, and I've learned what to avoid, stuff like that. So I'm prepared. It's not comfortable, but I'm prepared. So I'm gonna read and hope that I feel a little better. I just sat here on Instagram for the past 15 minutes feeling insecure. I mean, I don't blame myself. It's normal, but also, like, come on, me. I can do better than that. So, updates for Rules for Being Dead. I'm not enjoying it. I'm only 12 pages in, so I'm like, I don't know yet. I just made a really weird face. Anywho, I don't know how I feel. So I found this title on Edelweiss, I don't really know how to pronounce it, where there are like digital arcs and stuff like that. But that obviously wasn't a jump cut, because I did not get interrupted. Nope, didn't happen. Anywho, that's where I found Rules for Being Dead. And I don't know whether it was, so Edelweiss, they put, like, they'll do fiction and then slash and then subgenres, or nonfiction slash subgenre in the little description. And I remember, unless it's like a false memory or something, I remember this being marked as fiction slash literary slash gay. And I don't know why, but I was expecting something more gay and more literary. Right now, it's just giving me middle grade ghost mystery vibes, which I don't mind. It's just the title screams middle grade ghost, but the cover does not. So far, I would say this cover is like totally does not fit the book, and neither does the synopsis. The synopsis is super vague, so we'll see. I'm bored. Oh shoot, I need to take my headphones out. So, Rules for Being Dead. I ended up DNFing it. It's not that it's bad, it's just when I requested it, I was expecting something different, and I didn't get that, so DNF. I still recommend it if you like historical fiction. It takes place in the 1960s. So historical fiction, literary fiction, family drama slash family fiction, or like supernatural type mystery. Not supernatural horror, just supernatural mystery. So it's not a bad book. It just wasn't what I was looking for. So I am putting this one down. Also, it is 10:30 and I'm trying to be asleep by 11 because my sleep schedule went to crap when quarantine started. So I'm trying to get it fixed. So I'm trying to be in bed by 11, so I'm gonna go to sleep now. Good night. Good morning, Luna. Big stretch. My hair's a mess. It's okay, I'll comb it later. So, on the note of anxiety, I am feeling better, which is good. I think that a good night's rest definitely was helpful. And also I think that yesterday I was just too lazy. When I just laze around and do nothing, that's when the anxiety comes. So today I have a plan to just do chores. Not glamorous or fun, but it's something to do. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to listen to, I don't know the title, but it's a romance book. I'll get the title in 1 second. The title is Freed by Carly Phillips. That's what I'm going to read. I'm dressed. Anyway, before I clean the bathroom, I'm going to clean my room because it's a mess. But I will be listening to Freed by Carly Phillips while I clean my room, and then because Freed is only 4 hours, I'll probably end up finishing it by the time I clean my room because I'm listening to it on 3 times speed, and then I'll find something else to read while I clean the bathroom. My room has been cleaned, my bed has been made. Now I have to do the laundry. It's in there, I'm not going to show you, and then I need to remelt this candle so I can fix the wick that messed itself up. And then if I have time, I will clean the bathroom. Oh, and about the book. So I'm going to stand by the window because the lighting's better. Anywho, so the book. It's definitely looking like it's going to be pleasantly steamy, which I like, but it's a little unrealistic. The main character is pretty childish. We'll see. It's looking like it'll be one of the kind of guilty pleasure reads where I read it, I recognize that it's not that great, but I still enjoy it just for fun. So probably gonna be 3.54 stars. We'll see. So it's just moving way too fast. I think it's a novella because it's only 4.5 hours long, but it's moving way too fast. The main character, feels very childish to me, but also, everything just feels so unrealistic. Like, she got a job in an apartment in the same day. Like, it's just going way too fast. It's going way too idealistically, and then suddenly there's tension between the main character that came out of nowhere and doesn't make sense, only because I think the book needs a conflict. I feel like if the author wanted to write a book this short, it should have just been a nice little story about characters that were already in love, like a follow-up or something. But trying to put a full-fledged romance novel with conflict and resolution and all, trying to squeeze that all into a novella was a bad idea, and it's kind of showing. Time to clean the bathroom. So glamorous. This tool is my favorite. You basically put this brush in a drill, and then I love it. I don't know why. It's just so entertaining to me, and it's so much easier than scrubbing by hand. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna clean the shower. I don't want to show you the bathtub because it's super gross. And the bath, and the toilet, and sweep. It's all very glamorous. Just stay in the life while reading. So, I said originally that the book I was currently reading was Freed by Carly Phillips, but that was incorrect. It was Need You Now by Carly Phillips. I think Hoopla made a mistake with the titling. I don't know what happened there, but anywho, 2 stars. Wasn't 1 star worthy. I only save 1 stars for truly horrible or bigoted books, stuff like that. It was leaning there, but then the end kind of picked itself up back to 2 stars. So I had a lot of problems with this book. First of all, it was too short. Now, I understand if you want to write a romance novella, do so. I don't, like, they exist. But you need to recognize that you're writing a novella, so you have a lot less time to fit in a plot. And I don't think this author recognized that. She crammed way too much into this small book, and everything was moving too fast. So that was the first issue. The second issue was how freaking unrealistic everything was. Everything was just so idealistic. Things just happened that didn't make sense. It was just like, oh yeah, that happens, or yep, this is real life, when no, it's not. The characters were very, very childish and cliche, which I didn't like. Everyone was just really immature. The second issue that I had was, oh my word, like, half of the book, no joke, at least half of the book was just Brayden talking about his erection, or, what's her name, Juliet talking about her arousal. And it was just like, I don't, like, it was just so annoying. They constantly talked about that. It was literally half of Brayden's sentences or thoughts were how erect he was or how hard he was. And I'm like, I don't need to know every single time you feel mildly aroused. The next issue was, this is going to be a mild spoiler, at the end, so Juliet's mom is a drug addict, and she comes to Juliet and her sisters asking for help, and it was supposed to be like they turned her away, and it was supposed to be an inspirational, turn away toxic people, like, be proud, be, like, confident. But I was like, no, that was cruel. She was literally asking for help. I don't even think she was necessarily asking for money. She was just like, I need help and I want to get back on my feet. And they're like, no, you've hurt us too many times. We don't love you anymore. You're not our mother. And while I do understand that that's necessary sometimes, in this case, it just felt cruel and unnecessary to me. So overall, the book was poorly written, poorly paced, and the characters sucked. Yeah, not my favorite. Oh well, on to the next book, which the next book is either going to be, I have Elevation by Stephen King or Oona Out of Order by, don't know the author's name because I'm dumb. I think I'm going to go with Elevation because it's short. So, yep, that's my next book. I seriously get so easily distracted by Instagram because of all the stuff in my feed, but I kind of want to show people what's in my feed so they know what I'm getting distracted by, but also see the weird eclectic tastes I have. So, come on, load. The Wi-Fi back in my bedroom is very bad. Such sad. Okay, so we have hot people because that's one of my interests. And we have friendship bracelets. I've recently gotten into making these during driver's ed because, no offense to my teacher, she's very nice, but driver's ed is very boring. I have memes, Harry Potter memes specifically for some reason. Oh, these distract me so much. I could watch these types of videos, the ones where they're time-lapsing of food making. I get so easily distracted by those. I'll literally sit for hours. Sometimes I'll just sit rewatching the same one because I am easily distracted. Minecraft videos, for some reason, I don't really play Minecraft that much, but they show up anyway. I don't know what this is. Sometimes just random factoid stuff. We'll just forget about that. Slime, Frozen stuff, for some reason. Music stuff, more hot guys, and Minecraft, and math because I don't know why. And pimple popping, I haven't looked at that in a while. It is kind of random, and sometimes Instagram will show stuff that I've literally never shown interest in, but then I'll click it anyway because I'm stupid. I've seen this hundreds of times and I still click on it because it's so weird and cool. I have a problem. Oh, Miraculous stuff. I love that show. And other just random stuff that I have no interest in but click on anyway. So, Elevation is apparently trying to put away this. Anyway, it's read by Stephen King, which is interesting because I'm not I can't say he's not a good actor because he acted in It Chapter 2, not amazingly, but decently. So I'm going to be interested to see what kind of audiobook narrator he is, how good he is at it. I've listened to about like 5 seconds of him narrating it, and he doesn't sound that bad. He definitely sounds better than some of his other narrators for his books. Which one? I think it was The Outsider, the narrator for The Outsider or Outsiders. He wasn't a bad narrator. His voice was just really grating to me personally, but that might just be my personal opinion. Yeah. Just a little update. Stephen King is actually a really good narrator. Not not the best narrator I've heard, but he's really good. I'm on my way to get my glasses finally, and only a year late. I'm very excited to get them because I'll actually be able to see things that are far away for once. Yeah. So, two things. First of all, I got my glasses. I love the way they look. Everything is a lot clearer. I didn't even realize how blurry my vision was until I put the glasses on. Second thing, Elevation by Stephen King. I'm enjoying it. It's not, I don't really get what the point is so far. Like, it's just kind of what's going on, but it's not unenjoyable. I still think Stephen King is a really good narrator. But yeah, kind of what's going on so far. I did like mentioned Pennywise, and because there was a band called, it was Pennywise and the Clowns, and I really liked that. I thought that was funny. So, I am currently in driver's ed, which is very boring, but we're on a break right now, so I am going to make beans. I'm going to, I think it's refry them, whatever the term is. I'm hungry. And I still love my glasses because I didn't realize how blurry everything was, but it's also weird because I'm just not used to having them on my face. Oh, and Elevation. I am enjoying it. It's weird. I don't understand the point. It's not very Stephen King-esque yet, but we'll see. So, I just finished my shower. I'm in my pajamas. Well, I'm in my pajama pants. My pajama shirt has not finished watching, so I'm wearing this ugly shirt that I got from school. So anyway, I'm going to write a post on Instagram. I'm going to write a post on Instagram. I'll post that, and then I will probably finish Elevation. We'll see. Also, it's so weird to, not the best angle. Anywho, it's just weird to have these, because everything is so much clearer. I'm just looking at the leaves. Those are the first things I noticed, being super sharp. Anyway, everything is a lot clearer, and it's also just weird having them on my nose. I'm not used to it. So, I put macaroons in the oven, not macaroons, meringues. Italian, same thing. I mean, not same thing, but same country. Anywho, macaroons, meringues are in the oven, which means I have to stay up another hour to pull them out of the oven. Or not pull them out of the oven, turn the oven off so that they can sit overnight and crispify? I don't know. Which means I have to stay up another hour, so that's an hour that I'm going to read because I didn't read this entire evening. I was on YouTube. Oops. Anywho, I'm gonna read now. So, I just finished Elevation. I'm probably gonna give 3 stars. Excuse me. It wasn't bad. It was not boring or slow. It was just like, what's the point? And I said that earlier. It didn't feel like there was a point to it. There was like, what's the theme? And there really wasn't one. It felt like just a set of events happening. And also at like the 75% mark, it switched to a whole, like not a different plot line, but literally a whole different story. It was another short story within Elevation. And I don't know why that happened, but that confused me. But yeah, the bonus story, I suppose, really random, made no sense, kind of pointless, and then Elevation was weird, and it ended weird, so 3 stars. The next book I'm going to read is probably, oh my gosh, my hair's a mess, it's probably going to be Oona Out of Order by, still don't know the author's name because I'm dumb. I think it's Mary someone. I'm sorry if that's wrong. I'm really bad at remembering things. Okay, good night. Good morning, Luna. So, I'm honestly not sure when I'm gonna end up ending this vlog, because the last vlog I did was, the reading the worst books I could find, and that had, like, a definitive list, and I was like, okay, when I get to the end of this list, the vlog will be over, and it nicely ended at the end of the weekend, but I don't have a list, because this was just a spur-of-the-moment random reading vlog, and I don't really have a specific date when I want to end it, so what's today? It's Friday. I'll probably end it tomorrow and Saturday. We'll see. So this book, Oona Out of Order by Margarita Montimore, which I wonder if that's a pseudonym, because that's quite the name. Anywho, it's about this girl, Oona, who lives her life out of order. So every year, on her birthday, she, instead of going from, chronologically from, like, 18 to 19, she would go from 19 to 32, and then to 28, and then to 35. She kind of goes out of order. And it's really, I mean, I'm only, like, half an hour in, but it is a really fascinating premise, very creative. It reminds me, in a way, of the movie The Platform, just because of the way things kind of go out of order, but only in that way. I don't know why I thought of that movie. Anyway, it's interesting. I'm looking forward to where it's gonna go. It gives me both The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, I think is the title. It gives me that vibe, and then also Life After Life. So we'll see. So I feel like I'm constantly in this in this exact area in my room, but it's because my window has this little thing that I can prop my phone up on, so I can talk without, like, holding the phone and shaking, because my hand is super shaky. So anyway, Oona Out of Order. It's really good. Again, there we go. Super creative premise, and already within the first chapter, it is so fascinating, so unique, and it opens up to so many little things that could be explored, and I think the author is doing a really good job of it. My one complaint, it's not really even a complaint, it's just an irksome thing. Oona is kind of stupid. So basically, she goes from 19 to 51. Like, she's 19, then on New Year's Day, she switches to 51 years old. And she's freaking out, obviously. I would too. But then her personal assistant's like, hey, Oona, you're okay. Like, let me explain this time travel stuff to you. She's like, no, you're insane. I'm insane. Everyone's insane. I'm like, am I just like a super mature 15-year-old, or is she just a super immature 19-year-old? Like, no matter, like, if someone's telling you you're okay and that this time travel, like, if they're explaining to you what's happening, maybe don't run away into the city. Like, maybe sit down and say, okay, yes, I don't know what's going on. You seem to know what's going on. Please explain this to me. But nope, Oona doesn't do that. She's like, nope, I can't do this. You're insane, or maybe I'm insane, or maybe everyone's insane, or I'm dead, or I'm sleeping. Who knows? And she just runs away. She doesn't give anyone a chance to explain what's happening to her. I don't know. And I understand that it would be scary in this situation, but still, I feel like she was just being a little dumb. Anyway, I am really enjoying the book, though. Although I may be saying all of that because I am a reader, so I kind of like know what to expect, if that makes sense. Like, I've read so many sci-fi books, so many horror, fantasy, middle grade magic books, that if I were to wake up in a different year, I wouldn't really be surprised. I mean, I'd be surprised, but I'd be like, okay, like, I don't care. I mean, basically, I'm a reader, which means I've experienced hundreds of thousands of different storylines and realities. So I wouldn't be completely surprised if something magical happened to me. It'd be cool to me. But anyway, the point is, I'm weird, which is why I would probably react differently than most normal people. Luna, no. Luna, no. Luna, cannot dig the holes in the yard. Oh my gosh, Luna, you have dirt all over your nose. Luna, no, okay. I love you, Luna, but you're so chaotic and kind of stupid. It's lunchtime. Ow, the plate's still hot. Just a little life update. I'm eating lunch. That's not the life update. But, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, because I need to get my learner's permit, but the earliest I could schedule an appointment was August 20th, so I have to wait an entire month to get my learner's permit. I also had to order a birth certificate, because apparently my mom doesn't have one, and you need a birth certificate to prove that you're real before you get your learner's permit. So, it's gonna be a while before I get my permit. Oh well. So it's really interesting. Oona is leaving notes to herself. Like, every time she switches years, she switched twice, so maybe not every time, but the 2 times she's found notes for herself that previous her has left. It is really fascinating how the time travel works, and now I'm just wondering, when did she write the notes? Like, how is this all gonna play out? It's really fascinating. I can't wait to see where it goes. I'm slightly concerned that I don't think they will, but I am a little concerned, like, what happens if we get to the end of the book and it's like, oh, the notes just happened, like, oh, time travel. It's also interesting because in the note she left for her, I think it's 27-year-old self, she said, there's this guy, don't have sex with him, but Oona has sex with him. And I'm like, it's complicated. The thing I want to know is this all inevitable? Like, and will they cover that? Because I feel like with time travel, some things are inevitable. Like, even if she left that note, Oona would have had sex with him anyway, because she doesn't find the note until after. Anyway, it's enjoyable. It's really fascinating, and I am enjoying it. So, I'm taking the exam for driver's education. Yay. I'm pretty confident. I don't know if I'm allowed to show these questions or not, so I'm just going to say no, don't look, private, but I'm taking the exam for driver's ed, so yay. So, I don't want to say I accidentally cheated. Okay, let me put it this way. So I'm in driver's ed, so it's not the actual learner's permit test thingy. One of the questions was about the yield sign, and it was like something about what type of sign was it. And I've been so used to either looking at the PowerPoint or listening to what the teacher said, or sometimes Googling, because they were just worksheets and stuff, that I Google it, and I was like, oh wait, shoot, this is an exam, we're not allowed to Google. So it's not that I accidentally cheated. Well, don't tell anyone I cheated. Okay, but seriously though, like, it's not like I can, I'm not going to cheat on the learner's permit test. Not that I can anyway, because I won't be allowed to have my phone with me, I assume. If you're allowed to have your phone with you, then that's just dumb. Like, people are gonna cheat. So, driver's ed is done. I have mixed feelings. I'm so annoyed with these glasses. Like, I love them. They're beautiful. But also, like, I don't like having stuff on my face, and I need to get used to it. Anywho, driver's ed is done. I'm both sad and glad. Driver's ed is extremely boring, but the teacher was really nice, and it was kind of nice to have a little routine. Yikes, I think the ceiling was burnt by that light. Anywho, my final test grade was technically 94, but I'm telling myself and everyone else that it's 96 because I clicked the correct answer, but then when I went to scroll, I scrolled with either with the mouse or with the keyboard or whatever. It changed my answer from B to C, and I'm positive I hit B. But the point is I knew the idea, so yeah, now I have to wait till mid-August to get my learner's permit, because the MBA is good at scheduling things on time. Once I get my learner's permit, I will be able to do drive time, basically, like, they teach me how to drive, and then, I don't want to think that far ahead, I have anxiety. So, I didn't get much reading done tonight. I was chatting with some friends, watching YouTube, so I'll probably finish Oona Out of Order tomorrow. It is very fascinating, and I'll talk about that more in my final review. It's also kind of heartbreaking as well, because each time Oona switches years, you can just see she's kind of, floundering, because she doesn't know what's going on, and it is heartbreaking. And she does briefly talk about how she doesn't know what to do, because, like, she even asks her mom, like, why should I try? Like, because I just have, the people I get to know just get taken away from me.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking to the camera.
About me?
No. And it is hard to read, so, but I am enjoying it. It's really fast. Sorry, I'm just making sure. I am so paranoid about breaking my glasses. Anywho, it is a very fascinating premise, and I can't wait to see where it's taken. Anyway, that's all for tonight. I'm gonna go to bed soon, and I will finish the book hopefully tomorrow. Okay, so I accidentally found a spoiler on Goodreads, and spoilers for Oona Out of Order. Basically, I found out that, Kenzie is Oona's son, I believe. And so I'm just, like, thinking about that. I was like, oh, I'm sad I got that spoiled before I got to that part. And then I go, wait, didn't Kenzie say his moms were lesbian? And then I'm wait, is Oona a lesbian? And I was like, oh, that would be so cool. But now, as I'm saying it out loud, I am wondering if Kenzie was adopted. Potentially. We'll see. Although, I'm not sure why he would tell her, I'm Kenzie, I'm your assistant, rather than I'm Kenzie, your son. I have a mild inkling that it was because he didn't want to kind of mess up time or spoil the time loop. That's my feeling, but we'll see. So, I had the weirdest dream last night. I dreamed that, kind of like Oona, and I'm not lying, I'm not joking. I was transported back, what was it? 9 months. 9 months. And 9 months ago, right? Yeah, 9 months ago, I was in a tizzy? I was in a slew of really bad struggles with mental illness that I worked through and I got through. But 9 months ago, I was basically like miserable, and there was a lot that I was going through. But I remember in the dream feeling heartbroken because I was like, oh my gosh, if I had to relive this again, but also that all the progress I made was basically gone. It was just interesting, and I kind of get Oona even more. Yeah. I also dreamed that my parents were divorced for some reason, and that my mom was getting remarried. And then I had that whole feeling that, like, I was sad and kind of possessive that she was getting married to another guy. And that kind of gave me perspective for people whose parents are divorced or getting remarried. I'm not saying, like, I completely understand, but, the dream was pretty realistic, so. Anyway, weird dreams. Oona's in 2004, the year I was born. I don't really remember 2004, but it'll be interesting to see Oona existing in the year I was born. It probably won't mean much to me because I literally don't know anything about 2004, but we'll see. Squeeze me. Okay, so there's been not a plot twist per se, but I did enjoy this little plot point. So Oona goes to 2004, which I just said, and she meets Edward, her husband, and then stuff happens and they get divorced. She's like, oh, at least I'll be able to move on to some other year, hopefully a little backwards, further into the past. But instead of going to 2005, which she would if she was going chronologically, she goes to 2003, which means she has to live the year where she met and marries Edward, the man she just divorced. And even though I feel super bad for Oona, I am like, drama, tea. So exciting. But seriously though, this book is a very, very clever. It's interesting because up until now, Oona continues to receive letters from her future past self. Time is weird in this book. She continues to receive letters from her future self, which is actually from her past self. Anywho, the point is, and I'm just thinking, when is Oona gonna start, like Oona, like the main present Oona, gonna start writing these letters? Because she's gotten one from her past future self every year, but at some point she's gonna have to start writing them. And I that kind of asks the question is, can she really change the future past future? I don't know. Again, let me put it this way. I think it was 1991, she got a letter too late. It said, don't have sex with this guy. And she opened it after having sex with this guy. She opens the letter and finds out she's not supposed to. And that made me ask the question, well, if 1990 Oona wanted 1991 Oona to not have sex with this guy, and she wrote the note, would it have mattered? Or is time inevitable? This kind of goes into the bootstrap paradox. I believe that's what it's called, where basically some people think that time is inevitable. An example of this is if you watch My Little Pony, there's an episode, I think it's called It's About Time. I think that's what it's called. Basically, Twilight is visited present Twilight is visited by her future self, and her future self is a mess and stuff, and her future self goes, whatever you do, don't, and then she disappears. She doesn't have a chance to finish what she doesn't want present Twilight to do. So then present Twilight, knowing that whatever future Twilight did happens by the next week, spends the entire week trying to stop whatever is going to happen to cause future Twilight to look like that. But in the midst of trying to stop it, she ends up causing everything. So it kind of goes into the question of, no matter what you do, time is inevitable. What? So that's one way of thinking of the fact that no matter what you do, time will always kind of sort itself out and be an inevitable thing. And then there's also the idea of time can be changed. The idea that if you do something different in a timeline, it branches off into a new, either into the same universe and just changes time, or most people think it changes time and makes a new strand of the multiverse. It's very confusing. But from what I've gathered so far, it looks like Oona, no matter how many letters or things she says to her past, future, past self, it doesn't seem like she can change time. She hasn't been able to so far, but we will see. I am really enjoying this book, though. It is one of the most fascinating, what's the word? Premises I've found in a while. Ooh, there's tea. She just she met Edward on the plane, and on a plane, and she tries to, like, sit away from him, but she can't. It's like fate is magical. I feel, anyway, the point is, magic is happening. It's interesting. We'll see, because I know right now she hates Edward, but Edward isn't 2004 Edward, he's 2003 Edward. We will see. Maybe time is inevitable, because she's trying to change it. She said, I'm not going to meet Edward, I'm going to fly to, I think she's going to Asia, and she's going to travel, but fate ain't gonna let her. Editing took her popping in here. I think that the term I was looking for was determinism. Google it. So, I think that in this... I forget that I have to take my glasses off to rub my eyes. Anyway, in this book, time is inevitable. Because... So, obviously spoilers. My skin hates me this week. She finds out that Edward has been cheating on her with his assistant. And she tries to warn her next year self that, hey, don't marry Edward. Because she had originally written a letter saying, hey, give Edward a chance. But then she finds out that Edward is cheating. She's like, oh, no, I don't want future me to give Edward a chance. So she tries to write a letter, but of course she's too late because it's midnight. And then it goes to 2004, where I think it was 1997, her going to 2004. Anywho, the point is, so far, it's pretty evident that time is inevitable and she can't change anything. And everything she does leads to things happening anyway. And even if she tries to change things, they just kind of... It's interesting. Basically, she can't change anything. Once it's happened, no matter what she does. Because usually what she does, whether on purpose or to try to change stuff, leads to the event happening anyway. Anyway, it's fascinating. Time travel's interesting. It's almost over. It's about 3 hours left, but on triple speed, that's about an hour. So, I'll check in at the end. For 2017, I took my glasses off because I've been taking them on and off occasionally just because I'm still trying to get used to them. But we're 2017. It's gonna be interesting because I was alive and I remember detailed what happened that year. So, not that it happened in this world, but anyway. So, today's July 11th, which means usually it's 7-Eleven. Usually 7-Eleven does free Slurpees. But they canceled it because of COVID, which makes sense. But I went to 7-Eleven and I filled up my Slurpee cup, and then I was about to walk out the door, and the guy was like, hey, aren't you going to pay for that? And I was like, no, I'm not. And then he explained to me that it was canceled, but he was like, if you sign up for 7-Eleven rewards thingamajigger, you can get it for free. So I signed up with a fake number and email. But I forgot that the fake email that I used is technically a real email that I used to fake something else, which was a free trial so I could watch The Good Place. Anyway, that fake email is actually logged in on my phone, so now I'm getting emails to my phone. But I'll unlog it in. Anywho, I got a free Slurpee. I will share my thoughts on Oona Out of Order in a second. So, Oona Out of Order, I'm going to give 4 stars. It might have been 5 stars, except for the fact that the ending was a little unsatisfying. I loved the time travel idea, and it was really fascinating and pretty well executed. I loved the kind of inevitability, and I appreciated seeing all of Una's character growth. And I loved the idea of family being there for you. It was really enjoyable. I think my only complaint would be that the ending wasn't satisfying to me. Like, things were mostly tied up because we basically, even though it was kind of back and forth and out of order, we basically figured out Una's life story. I mean, I would have, I don't, this sounds so morbid, but I feel like I would have been even more, not, I don't know how to say this without sounding weird, but like, I kind of wanted to see, it sounds so weird. So basically, I wanted to see Una's death, but not be, basically, this book reminded me of another book I read, The 7 or 8 Deaths of Stella Fortuna. And in that, we see Stella die, and I feel like that I would have liked to see that, mostly because it kind of had a satisfying finality, whereas things felt a little open-ended, because we still don't know everything, if that makes sense. Like, we don't see her write the rest of the letters, we don't see her actually get pregnant with Kenzie, all of that, which I might have liked to see, but it didn't take away from the overall enjoyment, excuse me, of the book. So 4 stars. It was really enjoyable. I have wine berries, not that many, from that bush over there. It just kind of, they just randomly sprout in random orders. There's still a ton more blooms that I'll probably pick next week. I'm going to end the vlog here. It's what I started on Wednesday night, I think, so it's been about 4 days. I don't know, I kind of started on a whim and there wasn't really a theme, so I didn't have a specific end date, so I'm just going to end it here, since I finished 4 books. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, or anything else. I will see you in the next video. Bye.